The Story of a Marmaid. Episode 4. Story by Truth Be Told. Jait saw a queen, not marmaid. Someone older. Someone forgotten. She sat upon a throne of coral and gold, her crown shaped like crashing waves. The sea itself bowed before her. The woman's voice was soft. Before Marmaid, there was me. Jait's breath caught. The vision shifted. He saw worshippers kneeling before the queen, chanting her name. Olakun. Olakun. Jait's heart pounded. He knew that name. The goddess of the deep. The ruler of the oceans before Marmaid rise. The vision twisted again. Jait saw betrayal. A great battle. A war of the waters. Marmaid stood before Olakun, her golden eyes fierce. A battle of power. A struggle for dominion. And in the end, Olakun fell. Her name was forgotten. Her power stolen. Jait staggered back, his head spinning. This can't be real. Olakun's silver eyes burned into him. Marmaid took everything from me. My throne. My power. My name. Jait shook his head. Why are you telling me this? Olakun's lips curled. Because you are the key, Jait. Jait's pulse thundered. The key to what? Olakun's voice dropped to a whisper. The key to taking back what was stolen. The shadows rippled. The darkness trembled. And deep in the waters, something ancient stirred. Meanwhile, Marmaid fingers trembled as she traced the surface of her golden river. She saw everything. The visions. The lies Olakun whispered into Jait's ears. Her breath was tight. He was slipping through her fingers. Oba's voice was low. You cannot save him if he does not want to be saved. Marmaid jaw clenched. Jait was hers. And she would not lose him. Not to Olakun. Not to the shadows. Not to the past. She turned, her golden eyes flashing. If Olakun wanted war, she would give her war. The war beneath the waves. Jait stood frozen, Olakun's silver eyes piercing through him. You have been deceived, child. His chest tightened. I don't understand. Olakun took a slow step forward, the shadows shifting around her like restless waves. Mami Wada stole my throne. My kingdom. My name. She has rewritten history, making herself the only goddess of the waters. Jait's heart pounded. This couldn't be true. Marmaid had saved him. Hadn't she? Olakun's voice dropped to a whisper. Ask yourself, Jait, why did she take such an interest in you? Why did she pull you into her world? Jait's fingers curled into fists. He had never questioned it. He had been drawn to Marmaid like a moth to flame. Had she chosen him? Or had she trapped him? Olakun's lips curved slightly, as if she could hear his thoughts. You are not the first man she has claimed. But you could be the last. Jait swallowed. You have a choice. Olakun raised her hand. And suddenly, Jait's mind filled with memories that weren't his own. Visions of men before him. Strong, proud, filled with hope, only to be consumed by marmaid love. Drowned in her beauty. Forgotten by the world. Jait staggered back. Was this true? Had he been walking willingly into his own destruction? Olakun's voice was soft, almost kind. Help me take back what was stolen. And I will set you free. Jait's breath was ragged. Could he trust her? Or was she just another trap, another trick of the waters? Before he could answer, the ground trembled, the waters roared, and a voice, familiar and furious, shattered the darkness. Enough. Jait turned just as the shadows split apart. Marmaid descended. Her golden eyes blazed with fury, her presence sending shockwaves through the abyss. Olakun, she hissed. Olakun smiled. Sister. Jait's breath caught. Sister. Marmaid body shimmered, her power filling the air like an approaching storm. You should not have touched what is mine. Olakun tilted her head. You mean this boy? She let out a soft chuckle. You cannot claim all of them, Marmaid. Marmaid jaw tightened. I warned you, Olakun. Olakun smirked. And I ignored you, as I always have. The air crackled. Jait could feel the energy pulsing between them. A war was brewing, one that had been waiting for centuries. And he was caught in the middle of it. Marmaid raised her hand. Olakun matched her movement. And then, the waters exploded. Jait was thrown back as the abyss shattered, a storm of power ripping through the darkness. The battle had begun, and Jait was about to learn the truth. Whether he wanted to or not. The abyss trembled. Jait barely had time to react before the waters around him erupted, throwing him backward like a leaf in a storm. Marmaid and Olakun stood facing each other, their eyes burning with ancient rage. For the first time, Jait saw what true power looked like. Marmaid's body shimmered with gold, her long dark hair flowing like waves in a storm. Her fingers twisted in the air, and the water obeyed, forming sharp tendrils that lashed toward Olakun. Olakun didn't flinch. She raised her hand, and the abyss responded. The dark waters surged upward, devouring Marmaid's golden attack like a beast swallowing light. You were always reckless, sister. Marmaid's lips curled. And you were always bitter. The waters screamed. A collision of power shook the depths. Jait covered his ears as a deafening roar filled the abyss, the very fabric of reality shaking around him. The two queens rushed at each other. Power against power. Goddess against goddess. Marmaid moved like the tide, her body shifting effortlessly, her attacks coming fast, sharp spears of water, deadly currents twisting in unnatural ways. Olakun stood firm, unyielding as the deep ocean, blocking every strike with thick walls of dark water, absorbing every attack with ancient strength. Jait watched, heart pounding. He had thought Marmaid was the most powerful being in existence. Now he wasn't so sure. But one thing was clear. This fight would not end easily. The ocean remembers. Somewhere in the distance, the ocean itself shivered. Far above the abyss, where the sun kissed the waves, the waters of the world felt the battle. The rivers whispered, the lakes listened, and the spirits that had long been silent stirred. The forgotten ones. For centuries, the name Olakun had been buried beneath the weight of time. Now, with every strike, every clash of power, it was rising again. And the world was watching. Jait's choice. Jait clenched his fists. This was his fault. He had allowed himself to be pulled into this war. But whose side was he truly on? Marmaid had saved him. Olakun had revealed the truth. Both had claimed him. But in the end, Jait had to decide for himself. A deep voice rumbled through the abyss. Choose, mortal. Jait spun around. From the darkness, a third figure emerged. Neither Olakun nor Marmaid, but something older. Something that had been waiting for this moment. Jait's breath caught. The abyss was no longer just a battlefield. It was a throne room. And the gods had returned to reclaim it. The forgotten one rises. Jait's breath hitched as the third figure stepped forward. It was neither Olakun nor Marmaid. It was something older. Something that had been waiting. The figure's voice rumbled through the abyss like a tide crashing against ancient rocks. You stand at the center of a war that is older than time, mortal. Jait swallowed hard, his legs trembling beneath him. The figure emerged from the shadows, and Jait's mind struggled to understand what he was seeing. The being had the form of a man, but his skin was carved from obsidian and water. Shifting like waves under moonlight. His eyes were deep whirlpools, endless and unreadable. The ocean itself seemed to bow in his presence. Even Marmaid and Olakun froze. Jait had never seen either of them hesitate before. Who are you? Jait managed to whisper. The being turned his gaze on him, and Jait felt it, like a weight pressing on his soul. I am Egbesu, the keeper of balance, the guardian of the ancient waters. A god. Not just a spirit. A god. Jait's knees almost buckled. The judgment of the deep. Egbesu's gaze swept across the battlefield, his voice thick with authority. This war should have never reached this point. Marmaid lips tightened. You dare to interfere? Olakun stepped forward, her silver eyes flashing. Balance has already been broken. She took my name, my kingdom. She erased me from history. Egbesu's eyes darkened. You allowed it. Olakun flinched. Jaide's heart pounded. Was this true? Had Olakun once had the power to stop Marmaid but failed? Marmaid's expression was unreadable. And now, what will you do, Egbesu? Will you take her side? Egbesu looked between them. And then, he looked at Jaide. The decision is no longer mine. Jaide's breath caught. What? Egbesu raised his hand, and the waters trembled. You were pulled into this war by both sides. Used as a pawn. But now, you are more than that. Jaide shook his head. I don't understand. Egbesu's deep voice echoed. You will decide the fate of the waters, Jaide. Jaide's mind spun. Him. How could he decide something so powerful? He was just a man. But Egbesu's eyes bore into him, unshakable. Will you stand with Mami Wada, the queen who gave you life, but whose hunger for power has no end? Or will you stand with Olakun, the forgotten ruler, who claims to seek justice, but hides her own failures? Jaide's hands trembled. Marmaid saved him. Olakun told him the truth. But now, he had to choose. The ocean held its breath. The spirits whispered. The gods watched. Jaide closed his eyes. And then, he spoke. I choose. Jaide's heartbeat thundered in his ears. The abyss was silent. Marmaid's golden gaze bore into him. Olakun's silver eyes were cold and expectant. Egbesu, the ancient god, stood still, his presence heavy as the ocean itself. Jaide swallowed hard. He had never felt so small. So powerless. Yet, somehow, the fate of the waters, the fate of the gods, rested on his choice. He inhaled deeply, gathering his courage. Then he spoke. I choose neither. The gods, fury. A shockwave erupted through the abyss. The waters raged. Marmaid's eyes darkened with fury. What? Olakun's lips curled in disdain. You dare reject me? Even Egbesu's expression shifted. Just slightly. A flicker of something that might have been surprise. But Jaide stood his ground. His voice was stronger now. I will not pick a side in a war that has only caused destruction. You are both fighting for power, not for peace. I see that now. Marmaid took a step forward, her golden aura pulsing. Do you forget who saved you? Who made you what you are? Jaide's chest tightened. You saved me, yes. But you also used me. Olakun's face remained cold. Then you side with her enemy. Jaide turned to her, his voice steady. I side with the truth. Egbesu watched silently. The abyss waited. Marmaid's anger burned like fire. You are nothing without me, Jaide. Olakun's voice was sharp as ice. Without me, you would have lived a life forever. Jaide clenched his fists. Both were right. And both were wrong. Egbesu speaks. Then, Egbesu moved. His deep voice rolled through the waters like an ancient tide. Balance has been broken for centuries. But today, a new path is chosen. He raised his hand. The abyss shuddered. Jaide felt the ocean shift, the power of the gods moving like an unstoppable force. Marmaid stepped back, her golden glow flickering. Olakun's form wavered, her silver presence trembling. Egbesu's eyes locked onto Jaide. You have spoken. Now, you must face the consequences. Jaide's breath caught. The ocean roared, and the abyss collapsed around him. Jaide screamed as the abyss collapsed around him. Darkness swallowed him whole. The pressure was crushing, like the weight of the entire ocean had turned against him. He couldn't breathe, couldn't move. Then, a voice boomed through the void. You have rejected the gods. Now, the gods will reject you. It was Egbesu's voice. But it was different now, colder. Jaide's lungs burned. His vision blurred. Then, Suddenly, he was falling. Through endless black water. Through ancient tides that had existed before time itself. The ocean's judgment. Jide hit something solid. His body slammed against the ocean floor with bone-breaking force. But he didn't die. He couldn't die. Not yet. A deep rumbling shook the water around him. And then, he saw them. The spirits of the deep. Thousands of them. They circled him like sharks, their eyes glowing blue in the endless dark. Some had human faces, twisted with anger. Others had serpent bodies, their scales shimmering with unearthly light. And at the center of them all was her. Not Marmaid, not Olakun, but something older, something worse. A figure rose from the shadows, her form shifting between woman and beast. Her eyes were black holes, swallowing all light. Her voice was the sound of drowning screams. You rejected the gods. But you forgot one thing, mortal. Jide's body trembled. He couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. The spirit smiled. The ocean always takes back its own. And then, the darkness exploded. Jide's world shattered. And the sea devoured him whole. The depths of the forgotten. Jide's lungs burned as the sea swallowed him. He tried to swim, tried to fight. But the ocean was not water anymore, it was alive. It was holding him down. The spirits of the deep circled, their whispering voices curling around him like seaweed. You rejected the gods. Now, the gods reject you. You do not belong here. Jide thrashed, but his limbs felt heavy. Like something was pulling him deeper. Then, he heard her voice again. The voice of the Ancient One. The forgotten spirit. Marmaid and Olakun fight over their kingdom. But they forgot about me. And now, so have you. Jide's chest tightened. The darkness shifted, and the spirit revealed herself. Her form was neither fish nor woman, neither human nor monster. She was everything and nothing. Her skin was made of black waves. Her hair was tangled with sea creatures long thought extinct. Her eyes were endless voids. No light, no life, just pure, swallowing darkness. Jide's heart pounded. Who are you? He gasped. The spirit smiled. A slow, terrifying smile. I am Yemaya. The name sent a shockwave through the water. Jide had heard that name before, whispered in fear by old fishermen. Yemaya, the mother of the ocean. Older than Marmaid. Older than Olakun. The one who had been forgotten when the others fought for power. Jide's blood ran cold. You're supposed to be a myth, he whispered. Yemaya laughed, and the sound shook the depths. And yet, here you are, drowning in my hands. Jide's body froze as her shadowy fingers curled around him. You made your choice, human. Now, you will suffer the consequences. The prison beneath the waves. The water shifted. Jide's body was dragged downward, pulled into something darker than the abyss itself. A place where even Marmaid power could not reach. The prison of the drowned. Jide crashed against the seafloor, gasping for breath that he did not have. Above him, the surface of the water was impossibly far away. Around him, the ocean floor stretched into infinity, scattered with the bones of those who had defied the gods before him. Figures moved in the shadows, whispering, watching him. Some had once been human. Others had once been gods. All of them were trapped. Jide's pulse raced. No, this can't be happening. He turned to run, but there was nowhere to go. You belong to the ocean now, Yamaja's voice echoed through the depths. And the ocean never forgets. Jide's breath hitched. A new war was coming. And this time, he wasn't sure if he could escape it. Jide's feet sank into the cold, lifeless sand beneath him. The water pressed in from all sides, thick like liquid iron. The shadows moved. Figures lurked in the darkness, whispering in voices that had long been forgotten. Jide clenched his fists, his heart thudding in his chest. No, I won't stay here. But Yamaja's laughter rippled through the abyss. You have no choice. A wave of shadows surged toward him. Jide ran. But the prison had no end. The forgotten ones. Jide's breath came in ragged gasps. His legs burned, but he forced himself forward. Through the shifting waters. Through the graveyard of lost souls. Until he saw them. A group of figures, hunched and broken, their eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. They were not spirits. Not quite alive, but not fully dead. Jide slowed, his instincts screaming at him to turn back. One of them lifted his head. His face was half human, half shadow, his body flickering like a dying flame. You don't belong here. His voice was like a whisper carried by the waves. Jide swallowed hard. Neither do you. The figure's eyes darkened. We all made a mistake. And now, we belong to Yemaya. Jide's fists clenched. No, there has to be a way out. A hollow laugh came from the group. Another figure, a woman with seaweed tangled in her hair, shook her head. You think you're the first to try. Yamaja's prison has no doors. No keys. No escape. Jide's pulse pounded. That's a lie. The figures watched him. For the first time in years, or maybe centuries, hope flickered in their broken eyes. Jide took a deep breath. Tell me everything you know. The whispered secret. The half-shadow man stepped forward. There is only one way out. But no one has ever succeeded. Jide held his ground. Tell me. The man hesitated. Then, he whispered the secret. And Jide's blood ran cold. The impossible task. To escape Yamaja's prison. You must steal back what she has taken. Jide's heart stopped. Because he understood exactly what that meant. And it was impossible. Yemaya did not take objects. She took souls. Jide's hands shook. Because that meant only one thing. If he wanted to escape, he had to steal his own soul back from Yemaya herself. And no one had ever survived that. The soul thief. Jide's pulse pounded. Steal back his soul. From Yemaya herself. It was madness. Impossible. But he had no choice. The prison had no walls, no doors, no chains, yet everyone here was trapped. Because Yemaya had taken what made them human. Their souls. Jide's fists clenched. How do I find it? He asked. The half-shadow man shook his head. No one knows. Only Yemaya knows where she keeps them. And she does not give them back. Jide exhaled sharply. Then he turned. Started walking toward the depths. The others stared in disbelief. Where are you going? The seaweed-haired woman asked. Jide didn't stop. To do the impossible. The path of no return. The ocean grew darker as Jide walked. The seafloor sloped downward, leading into a shadowy abyss. Cold water wrapped around him like unseen hands. You are not welcome here. Yamaja's voice echoed through the deep. Turn back, human. Jide kept moving. The pressure around him intensified. The water became heavier, like he was walking through thick, unseen chains. Yamaja's whisper slithered into his ears. You are nothing without your soul. You will fail. Jide gritted his teeth. Then why are you afraid? The whispers stopped. The water shifted. And suddenly, the ocean opened up. The vault of lost souls. Jide's eyes widened. Before him stood a colossal underwater temple, carved from black coral. Its doors were woven with golden threads, pulsing with a soft glow. And inside, a sea of trapped souls, swirling like mist. Jide stepped forward. A tremor ran through the ocean. The temple groaned, as if it were alive. And then, you dare enter my vault? The waters exploded. And Yemaya appeared. She rose from the depths, her body shifting between waves, shadows, and something older than time itself. Her eyes burned. You will not take what is mine. The ocean roared. Jide's heart pounded. Because now, he wasn't just fighting for his soul. He was fighting for his life. The battle for the soul. Jide stood frozen. Yamaja's form shifted. One moment, she was a woman draped in water, her hair flowing like black waves. The next, she was a towering shadow, her eyes burning with the light of 1,000 stolen souls. You are foolish. Her voice slithered through the currents. No one leaves my prison. Jade's chest tightened, but he stood his ground. You took my soul. I want it back. Yemaya laughed. The temple trembled. The souls shivered inside the golden vault. You do not understand, mortal. Once I take a soul, it becomes mine. You are nothing now. Empty. Just another whisper in the water. Jade's hands clenched. Then why are you afraid? The waters stilled. Yamaja's smile faded. For the first time, Jade saw something in her eyes, doubt. She had spent centuries feeding on the fear of lost souls. But Jade was not afraid. He stepped forward. I will not leave without what belongs to me. Yamaja's expression darkened. The waters raged. The golden vault shuddered. And then, if you want your soul back, her voice hissed through the ocean, then you must earn it. The temple split open. The swirling mist of trapped souls parted. And Jade saw it. A single, glowing orb, pulsing with a soft, golden light. His soul. But it was not alone. 3 monstrous figures emerged from the depths. Creatures of darkness and water, their bodies twisting like living shadows. Yemaya smiled. Take your soul, if you can. The creatures lunged. Jade barely had time to react. He dove to the side as claws sliced through the water, missing him by inches. One of the beasts snapped its jaws, its teeth like shards of obsidian. Jade rolled, pushing off the seafloor. He had no weapon, no armor, just his will. You will fail, Yemaya whispered. But Jade wasn't listening. He charged toward his soul. The creatures blocked his path. Jade took a deep breath. And then, he did the impossible. He reached. His fingers brushed the golden light. And the ocean erupted. The awakening. A shockwave tore through the temple. The creatures howled. The golden vault shattered. The trapped souls screamed and scattered, fleeing into the endless sea. And Jade felt everything. The weight of his own soul returning to him. The memories, the pain, the life Yemaya had stolen. It all rushed back. His chest burned. His eyes blazed. And when he stood, the ocean bowed. Yemaya stared at him. For the first time in centuries. She looked afraid. Jade smiled. Now, it's my turn.